Hello everyone, we're back with my currently inked in December. So these are all the pens I currently have inked at the moment. We're just looking through my little book here. So the first one I've got is my Lamy Studio LX all black with an extra fine nib. I haven't really used this one last year because it had been used quite a bit in the past. But this year I've got it inked up, and it's primarily going to be inked up with just this Pilot Black. I just like the look of it. It's a completely matte black pen with just black ink in it. It's a great pen. I absolutely love this pen. It writes so well, and it's just an easygoing pen. So this is the ink it's inked up with. I have a lot of it. That is a huge bottle of ink that I have to go through, so that's why this pen's been designated for that. And it writes really well. However, my dip pen and I were struggling a lot to do this swatch. It wasn't working very well. Actually, all these swatches are going to be a bit woeful, to be honest. But yeah, that's that one. I also forgot how I was actually setting this out in these books, so that's life. You just go with the flow of it. There's no point getting stressed out about it. So the next one is, I'm showing the bottle because I've got the whole bottle to use. So what I've done in this other little notebook, besides having some overflow for pens, is do the whole bottle. The pens I have full bottles for are in this one, and then, the inks I have full bottles for are in this one. And so I just write down when I put this ink in a different pen, I can note down which pens have had this ink in it, as opposed to having to go through the other one. Whereas the other one, I think, is probably more for like ink samples and just trying out ink samples. So I've put it in my Vanishing Point in the matte black and blue with a fine nib. I love this pen. It works so well, it writes so well. It's just an easy pen to use. I've never had any problems with it, besides having that one, when it was in the black and white Vanishing Point, I put a Lamy ink in there, and I think it was just too dry for that. So, but this pen, like all these Huban inks, they are absolutely fine in this pen. So we're going to do the red ink. Now this one, I have a love-hate relationship with this ink. It's probably because it's red, but it's a deep red, so it's actually not too bad, but I still just have a bit of a hit and miss. Now I've put it in this vintage Pilot pen, which is a new old stock. It's just called 3A. It doesn't have a particular name, but it has a really cool nib on it. However, when I ink this up, it does leak. Where that little silver ring is, it kind of leaks out there, and I'm not exactly sure how. And then the other problem, as you can see, it's dry. It is very, very dry. I did get it to work a bit better after filming this, but realistically, I think this pen is just, it's a bit of fun, but it's not. I probably wouldn't necessarily want to go out and get another one. But yeah, you can see it leaked onto my finger there. It probably was like a cheap version of like a Pilot Varsity back in the day sort of thing. Around that, it feels that kind of cheap, but it was a nice pen. I didn't pay a huge amount for it, so it was a bit of fun. So I do have my Classic Revolt. I finished using the Diamond Peach Haze in this pen, and I've put a black ink in this pen, mainly because I wanted to use it as a primary pen for one of my planners, just because it matches this pen actually patinas because it's copper, and has a really nice patina and that on it. And the cover I'm using for it also has a really nice like patina and that kind of stuff. So I've just put another Jacqueline Hibbard colour in it. However, this one I've only got in cartridges, so that's why I've had to do a really scruffy swatch there. And I don't know what was going on with my writing there, why I decided to go weirdly capital, but it is what it is. But yeah, I've only got, as you can see, I've only got cartridges. I have more than this, but I got them on sale, so I figured I might as well use them. They fit really well in this pen, so why not? So this was the white Vanishing Point, the black and white one. So this is the one I had that Lamy that you can see there in it previously in October. But now I've switched it back to the stub nib in here, and I love it. It's fantastic. But I've also put what's left of that Diamine Peach Haze into it, and it is fantastic. Having it in a more stub nib pen, it just, you can see the shading and the sheening. However, this nib I think is also not as clean as it should have been, and it does have a little bit of wrong colour in it, so it doesn't come up as true. But that's okay, it is what it is. So this pen I'm showing again, it's still got the same ink in it. We're still playing around with it and getting it used to it. I love this ink in this pen. It is beautiful together. These two write really, really well, and I love this pen. It does still annoy me a bit that the cap does squiggle about a bit, but otherwise I'm thoroughly happy with that pen. I also still have my Just Turnings Salmon Pink inked up with the Konpeki Pilot ink, and I love it. This is a great pen. I'm having fun playing with these because they're only fairly new. And same with the Earth Magic 2.0. It is just, unfortunately videos don't do this pen justice. I mean, it is stunning. And because it's a matte finish, it's even more kind of like subtly stunning. So, and I really like it with this Lamy Topaz Brown in it. It just, yeah, it works really well. Oh yeah, so I inked up my little Coqueco Lilliput in green. I love this color. I love this pen. It is tiny, but gosh, it's fantastic. Now I have actually changed out that nib. I've taken off the fine because I find that's a little bit, on these small pens, it's a little bit hard to write with. And so I've actually popped a medium-sized nib in it to use, and it's so much better. I mean, the fine works really well. Oh, I can't get in screen. The fine works really well, but the medium just on this pen, because it's a small pen, just writes so well. I have put in this one, now it is a Pilot Irijuku colour. I can't remember what it's actually called, but it's like, I think it's called like Firefly or something like that in English. But it is, as you can see there, it's really hard to see in videos. In person it's not so bad, but in videos it's really, really hard to see. And then I had some more trouble swatching with this silly dip pen. We just weren't working on this day. Yeah, it wasn't behaving. And then it behaved too well. As you can see, once I finally got some ink on it, it does have some really nice shading, and you can get it much darker, but yeah, in an actual pen it can be really light to write with, so it's better just having it as a highlighting colour. So that is all I have inked up for the month of October. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.